Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, 52% of the residents walk around with L and R on their shoes. It's a brand new year, so happy new year to absolutely everybody. We have reached the 2nd of January 2024. Can you actually believe that? Which means that the Tories have now been in power for 14 years. And they have hit us with a lovely New Year's surprise of a 5% hike in our utility costs at a time of the cost of living crisis. And when I tell you, that these people hate your guts, they hate you with passion, because only people who do not like the people who they rule over would do something like that to people when people are already suffering. We have more food banks in this country than we have McDonald's. And people are suffering, and they still see fit to raise it by 5%, and the shareholders are just laughing, and then all of the senior management they will get a raise in their money as well, because they're talking about the price cap. It's the price cap don't mean nothing. It means absolute garbage. It means nothing at all, because if you use £10,000, the price cap is probably about 1900 and let's say 1950 now, because it was 1800 and something. 5% rise, so we've probably gone up to 1900 and something. So if we say 1950, that means nothing. That doesn't mean that they're going to charge you. They can only charge you £1950. If you use £10,000 worth, that's what they're going to charge you, £10,000. They're not going to say, well, it's capped at 1950. That's all we can charge you. No. They're going to say, stuff you, right? Because you know what? I need a new Bentley, right? Or, right, I need a new, bigger house, right? That's going to cost me, probably 12 or 15 million. And they need to get that money from the taxpayer. Right. So these people who are running these companies have all these years have been just paying out their shareholders, and now look, another 5%. When the Tories took over, right, it was probably £700 or £800, and then before Boris Johnson took over, it was about 1,100, and then Boris Johnson come along and virtually doubled it, because you're dealing with someone who believes that £225,000 was chicken feed. So when you're dealing with people who believe that type of thing, they have, if you're talking about like doubling, just doubling your cost of living crisis means nothing to them. So this new 5%, right, is all it's going to do is give people a good swift kick right in the short and curlies when they don't really need it. And welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all the messages sent me. Special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go for all the messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages definitely. And as I say, we have to say Happy New Year, because we have reached a new year, 2024 already. Can you believe that? 2023 just went, woo, past, done. And we'll go straight over to America, because today they've got the release of the Jeffrey Epstein papers. So there's going to be a lot of very wealthy individuals shaking in their boots today. And then we'll talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump had information, because Donald Trump employed a company to look into election fraud. Not interference, because that's what they're doing now. The election interference is what they're doing now. And in a way, I agree with Donald Trump. I agree with Donald Trump on that, right? Simply because of this, right? Because these people have had long enough, right, to have had this man in court a long time ago. We all saw what happened on January the 6th, and all these other cases, what they've got against him, right? They've had long enough to have had this man in court, right? Literally in his first year out of being president, right, they've had more than enough time, and now it's Donald Trump talking about it's election interference makes it actually look like that, because they're doing it just before the elections. The election year, they're having him in court in the election year, when they had him in court last year, and in 21, 22. 23, that's when he should have been in court. Or even 21, they could have gathered whatever evidence they need to gather, even though we all saw it on live TV, right? But gather whatever evidence they need to gather. But it does make it look like that. But anyway, it makes it look like election interference because of the time when they're doing it. But anyway, Donald Trump, right, the company that he employed to look into election fraud. Told Donald Trump a long time ago, there's nothing to see here, nada, nil, nothing to see here. There was no significant fraud within the election that could have stopped, that could have changed any results. They told Donald Trump that a long time ago. And obviously you've got other people within the White House that was telling him all these things. And Jack Smith, the prosecutor, right, has got all this information. So Donald Trump, just all Donald Trump can hope is that he wins the next election, because that's one of the only things that's going to stop them taking action against him. Whether or not they send him to prison, don't know, because to me, he seems like a person who could probably shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and just get away with it. So anyway, let's move back over to England anyway, because we've had some horrific acts going on in England. We've had one guy in Sheffield go and mow down an innocent bystander who went over to help someone that was on the floor. And this guy, this obviously there was some type of argument between these people. This guy's gone and jumped in his car and come back and then mowed people down. Virtually the same as going and getting a gun and going and murdering someone with a gun. Going to your house, get a gun and come back to the scene and murder someone. It's virtually the same thing. You got to jump in your car and kill someone. That's it's a first degree murder charge. So which is going to set you, in this country is going to set you back 30 years. Right, you get a first degree murder charge. They don't call it that. They don't go. But that's why the judge looks at it. If it's out and out murder, that's a deliberate act. Because that's what murder is. It's there's various of it, but it's most of the time it's a deliberate act, and that's why it represents a 30-year sentence. And then we've got Liz Truss, right, has been giving out awards. Why the hell has Liz Truss got any awards to give out? The woman was in for 40 odd days, right? But she's given out something like 10, 12, or something like that, gongs, right? And, awards. So she's given out a couple of knighthoods and then some peerages as well, right? But, she's given out, I think her ratio is something like she's given out a peerage for every 3 days that she was actually in power, which is just completely ridiculous, because she shouldn't be getting anything like that. And then we've got our Home Secretary, James Cleverley, who thinks it's okay to joke about giving his wife Rohypnol. The thing with being an MP, how you can reach the great heights of Home Secretary when you have a degree in, I believe it's catering or hospitality, one of the two, but how you can reach those great heights. But it just goes to show you, an MP's job, being a job of an MP is an unskilled job, okay? It's the best unskilled job in the country, because the benefits are fantastic, because you get to live on socialism. Right? If you're a politician in this country, that's what you get to live on. You get to live on socialism, right? While making sure that everybody else in the country believes that socialism is a terrible thing, while every single politician and all the royals and a lot of the lords and all these people are living on socialism. When you get your housing costs paid, when you get your gas, your water, your electric and all your utilities paid, so that will be that mobile phone, right? Whatever utilities in your house, right, you get paid, they pay it for you. Sorry. We pay it for you. And you get your travel costs, and you get subsidized food, right? And then you get some money, and then in the socialist countries, then you get a little money in the bank account, little money. For them, it's 91 or 92 grand in the bank account, right? And everything else paid. That right there is called socialism. That's what these guys all live on, socialism. But I was talking about Mr. James Not So Cleverley. Anyway, James Not So Cleverley, right, decided, he's going to tell a room full of women journalists that, what, it's okay to give my wife a little bit of Rohypnol, even though he was aiming the joke at himself. Right, that's not the point. The point is this: the Home Secretary doesn't get the opportunity to joke about those type of things, especially on the day when you just brought out a new law, right, about drug raping people. And then he thinks it's okay. Just goes to show you that these people, James Not So Cleverly, is as thick as your proverbial two very short planks. Just goes to show you, doesn't it? I mean, even Nigel Farage had a go at him about something this weekend because he said something that was just so stupid that, that's the word you have to use. You can't use stupid. You have to use stupid when you're speaking about James Cleverly, because this man is just such an idiot. Right? And you just think, oh God, he represents the black community too. But he's a black conservative, and the thing with black conservatives, just like the Asian conservatives, right? Bunch of bloody idiot sellouts. And let's speak about some Brexit before I go, because 1 in 10 people in this country believe that their finances has improved after Brexit. I know I say to them, you're freaking liars. You're an absolute liar. You're like one of those Donald Trump supporters who say, oh, well, it was not much better than Donald Trump. When you're lying, you're telling lies, right? It's not true, right? About 1 in 10. You get, I hear people on the radio go, yeah, my business is taken off, from after Brexit. Right? Tradesmen or, they've got a small business. No, it hasn't. Stop lying. No, it hasn't. It's impossible that it has, right? That's the thing, right? When we've got in this country, right, Labour talking about they're going to do, if they get Labour get into power, they're going to do a new deal for the farmers. Over 6,000 farms have gone bankrupt in this country, and the people in this country still believe these parasite politicians when they tell them, oh, our economy, we can grow the economy. You can't grow shit, right? Britain is a failing country, right? It has no future. Absolutely no future. That's why businesses are wanting to leave this country rather than wanting to come and and set up here. They're wanting to leave this country because Britain has lost its future. It's long past been this, long ago. It's it's the sick man of Europe again. A long time ago, right? In the last after Brexit, of course, right? But it's happened so long that they can't even speak about it. When you've got a country that's full of obese people and you've got farms going bankrupt, that should tell you something alone. But these politicians will just continue to lie. But what they do all the time is it's all these culture wars that they're playing, and you see you've got like the Reform Party gaining traction, but when you get people like Reform and those type of people, all you're going to get is even more people leave this country because they don't want to live under these far right politicians. And you know who those people are? Those people are your teachers, your doctors, and all those type of people, nurses, and all those, your dentists. They, most of them are lefties. So they don't want to live in this, So the more you get like, your Nigel Farage and your Richard Tyson, all those idiots, is the more brain drain you're going to get from this country. And that's why Brexit has just destroyed everything in this country. And when you have 6,000, there were 6,000 farms gone bankrupt. Okay, 6,000. Where do you think all the stock is coming in from now? Right, what those farms was doing, where those farms was like, where do you think all that's coming? All of that now, right, is being imported. But the farms in this country, right, cannot trade in this market. It's too expensive. So they've gone bankrupt. Over 6,000. I think people need to have that sink into their stupid Brexit fat heads, and they might. But I don't think they have the brain power to understand when you have 6,000 farms go bankrupt in your country. Then you've got to realise, Brexit has gone really badly. My friends, I have to wish you all an absolutely happy new year. I now have to bow out of here. I'm the MC John Ribs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.